Hello everyone, I am Sunil Kumar and today we are going to talk about the asymptotic notations properties. So properties of asymptotic notations. So let us see one by one. So first property is reflexive property. Reflexive property. So what is the meaning of reflexive property? So let us assume first let me write f of n is big O of f of n. So according to the reflexive property, this is actually true. Reflexive means it is representing itself. So what is the meaning, how it is true? So let us understand with one example. So let's say I am considering f of n is nothing but, let's say n square I am considering. So if I consider f of n is n square, so if I try to satisfy this equation, so definitely this equation will be satisfied. So let us see how it is going to satisfy. So n square equal to big O of n square I am trying to write. So for big O of n is for big O it is true. For big O it is true because both the sides values are same. So I can find the value of c and I can find the value of n0 also. So definitely it is true. Means we have already proved that. So it is true for big O big O function. Okay, so we can write f of n is big O of f of n. Second, similarly you can also write f of n is big omega of g of n. This is also true. Now how it is true? So sorry, this should be f of n. This should be f of n because in f of in omega and big O, so it represents big O represents less than equal to, so it represents greater than equal to whenever you are writing same function. Let's suppose I'm writing f of n is nothing but n cube. So omega means what? Greater than equal to, and f of n is nothing but n cube. So n cube and n cube is equal to is equal. So that is the reason it is also satisfied. So now you can write. So this is also true. Now third, if you see third property, third reflexive property, which is nothing but f of n is theta of f of n. So it is also true. Why it is true? Because first two condition is true. First two condition is true means what? In order to satisfy the conditions of theta, so first condition should be true and second condition should be true, then it is also true. So this is it can be written. Now what about fourth? Fourth is I want to write for a small o function and a small omega function. So f of n equal to small o of f of n. Let me check whether it is true or not true. So small o means what? Small o means is less than. In this case you cannot include equal to. So let's suppose I am considering f of n is n cube and f of n will be n cube. So we have already seen in small o this is actually not true, because if you take c equal to 1 then this will become false. So that is the reason it is not true. Means reflexive property for small o function is not true. Now next property, fifth property is what? F of n is small omega of f of n. Let us check whether it is true or not true. Omega means what? Greater than. So same methodology you will follow. F of n means, let's suppose I'm assuming n cube greater than f of n is n cube. So again it is false. Means we have already seen in omega, small omega. So this is also true, means it is not valid. So you can say this is not true. Means reflexive property for omega, small omega is not true. Okay, first three reflexive properties are true, but last two properties are not true. So this is all about reflexive property. So let us check next property, which is symmetric property. Second is symmetric property. Symmetric property. What is symmetric property? So let's say if f of n is big O of g of n. So can we take one example in order to satisfy this equation? Let's suppose I'm assuming f of n is n square and g of n is n square, let's say. So this is perfectly valid. This is perfectly valid in this case because it this symbol contains equal to also and less than equal to. So this is perfectly valid. Okay, but what about if I take this part? So this function I'm considering n square and this function I'm considering n cube, but in this case it is true. It is true. So what symmetric property says? Then it is saying g of n is big O of f of n. So it is true or not true? Can we write like this or not? Or not? So g of n is nothing but n cube equal to big O of f of n. F of n I have considered n square. So this is actually not true. That is the reason this is not true. Means what? If it is true, then it is not necessary. It is also true. So this is the reason. So this is what symmetric property. Let me write for the omega also. What is the meaning of omega? If f of n is omega of g of n. Omega means what? You can write greater than equal to symbol. Omega means omega represents greater than equal to condition. So let's suppose, can you please make this function true? So let's suppose I'm assuming same function n cube and g of n is also n cube. Is it valid or not valid? It is perfectly valid because it contains equal to, and both the side f of n is n cube and this side is also n cube. So for omega we have seen enough example to understand the concept of big omega. So it is true. But if I make this part greater and this part smaller, so then also it is true. Then also this condition is true, but it is not necessary to be true for this case. G of n is not equal to omega of big omega of f of n. F of n. So this is all about second property of symmetric. So this is the okay, this is the example. Now let us talk about third property of symmetric. Third property of symmetric means we are going to talk about theta notations. So let's say if f of n is theta of g of n, when it will be true? When it will be true, theta will be true in what case? In what situation? If f of let's say f of n is n cube and g of n is also n cube. So now I can satisfy first big O notation also, and for this function I can satisfy big omega and big O notation. So if both the functions are true, then I can simply write f of n is theta of g of n. So reverse is also true because both the values are same. So then you can say g of n is theta of f of n. For theta it is true. For theta it is true. But for big omega, for big O notation and big omega notation it is not true, but theta it is true because both the function should be same all in that case. So this is okay. Now let us talk about fourth one. So what is that? Fourth one is small o notation. Fourth one is small o notation. So what small o notation says? If f of n equal to small o notation of g of n. So what is the meaning of that function or this statement? So meaning is, let's suppose I'm considering f of n is let's say n square. Can I consider g of n is also n square? In order to make this condition true, I cannot consider, because for a small o notation it cannot be same. So definitely this part has to be smaller and this part has to be bigger, or you can say this part has to be greater. So for f of n, I cannot take this value in order to satisfy this equation or this condition. So what I am supposed to take? Let me take f of n is what? N square. So definitely it has to be what? greater than n square, you can take n cube, you can take n raised to power 4, you can take n raised to power 5, you can take greater than this. So it means what, this part is smaller and that part is greater. So this condition is true. But reverse is also true or not true? Because so then g of n small o notation of f of n. Now what is the value of g of n? G of n is n cube and small o notation of n square. So this is not true, because small o notation means this part should be smaller and this part should be greater. So this is not true. Okay. Now similarly we can write for small omega also. Let's say if f of n is small o notation of g of n. If this is true, then reverse is true or not true? Let us check, because we are talking about symmetric property. So let's say f of n is, I am considering n raised to power 4. So can I consider g of n is also n raised to power 4? This is true or not true? This is not true, because in small o notation we don't include equal to. So that is the reason we cannot take similar value. So means we are talking about small omega notation, means what, this part should be bigger and this part should be smaller. So means small o notation means what condition? Greater than. So this part should be greater. So means what you can take in this case, you can take n raised to power 4. So this has to be what? Smaller than n raised to power 4. It could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 1, or it could be anything less than this part. So this function. So let me take n cube. If I take these two function, so this is being satisfied. But reverse is true or not true? Let us check. So reverse, what is the reverse for? What is the symmetric for this function? G of n is small omega of f of n. Now this is true or not true? So n cube, g of n is nothing but n cube equal to omega, small omega of g of n, f of n is nothing but n raised to power 4. So is it true or not true? Because this part is smaller, but in omega this part should be what? Greater. So that is the reason it is also not true. This is also not true. So this is not true actually. So this is what this is all about symmetric property. Let us move to the third one, which is transitive property. Third one is transitive property. Transitive property. So what is the meaning of transitive property? Transitive property means, let's say A knows B and B knows C, then A will automatically knows C. A automatically knows C. So this is what transitive property. If A knows B and then B knows C, then A automatically knows C. So this is what the transitive property. But let us see in terms of big omega notation, big O notation, and theta notation, and small o notation and small omega notation. So first let me talk about the big O notation. So what is the meaning? Let's say if f of n is big O of g of n, if this is true, and g of n is big O of h of n, let's say. So when this condition will be true, let us assume I have taken f of n is n square. Then what I can take for g of n? What value I can take for g of n? I can take whether n square or greater value than n square. So it could be n square or n cube or any value which is greater than n square. Any value which is greater than n square. So let's say let me take n cube. So this is true. Now this is true. Then let's say g of n is, I have already fixed g of n is nothing but n cube. Then what could be the possible value of h of n? What could be the possible value of h of n? H of n will be greater than this value n cube. So it could be n raised to power 4, or it could be n cube. It could also be n cube. Let me take n cube. You can also take n cube, you can take n raised to power 4, you can take n raised to power 5, anything which is greater than n cube, but you cannot take n square. If you take n square, then this condition is not going to be true. So let us we have understood this question. Okay, then what means, according to transitive property say if A knows B, B knows C, then A automatically knows C. So means what? F of n big of h of n, this will be valid. So how it is valid, let us check. F of n means what? N square equal to big O of h of n. H of n is what? N cube. So in big O notation we have to prove this part is smaller and this part greater. So you can see this is already smaller part and this is bigger part. So this is valid. This is perfectly valid. Now what about second? Can we talk about, similarly we can write for big omega also. So f of n is big omega of g of n, and g of n is big omega of, let's say, h of n. Then automatically it says f of n is big omega of h of n according to the property. So let us take let me take f of n is what? n raised to power 4. I have taken n raised to power 4. Then what could be the possible value of g of n? G of n can be equal to n raised to power 4 or any value which is smaller than n raised to power 4. So let me take g of n in this case, let me consider n square. I can take anything which is lesser than n raised to power 4 or equal to n raised to power 4. I can take anything. So I have considered n square. Now if g of n is what? N square, then what could be the possible value of h of n? H of n could be equal to of n square or anything which is less than n square. So let me take n. I have taken n. Now is it really satisfying or not? Let us check. F of n is what? F of n is n की power 4 equal to big omega of h of n. H of n is what? N. N means, now in omega we have to prove this part bigger portion, and this is what? A smaller part. This function is already smaller function, and this function is already bigger function or greater function, you can say. So this is perfectly valid. This is perfectly valid for big omega notation also. Now, so if it is valid for big O notation and big omega notation, then automatically now it will be valid for f of theta also. Let us check. F of n is theta of g of n, and g of n is theta of h of n. If it is true, means this condition is given to you. Now let's suppose f of n is, I am considering f of n is n square. Now what could be the possible value of g of n? G of n I can take what? In power of 2 only, means I can take n square only, but I can additionally add some constant. So constant will not bother anything. So you can consider constant or you can ignore the constant, but this power should be same for theta notations. You know, this means this value should be same, or this dominating part and this dominating part should be same. So in this case, now then it is true, correct? It is true. Now I have taken g of n is what? N square. Then what could be the possible value of h of n? So h of n can also be in terms of n square only. So let me take n square plus 1000. So this is constant actually. Now, so then f of n is theta of h of n or not. Now we have to check whether it is valid or not valid. So f of n is what? N square, and n square plus so h of n is what? N square plus 1000. But basically you can see both function are asymptotically same function. They are not, this function is not smaller, this function is not greater. Mathematically this part is smaller and this part is greater, but asymptotically both are same function, because you are actually seeing the dominating part. Dominating means in terms of value, this is n square, this is also n square function, this is also n square function. So all the functions are similar. So this is also valid. Now, so third one is also valid. Let us check fourth property. transitive property 4. Now, so I think if you talk about a small o notation, so you can write down a small o notation and a small omega notation also. So fourth property, if you see, if f of n is a small o notation of g of n and g of n is a small o notation of h of n, then it will be valid. It will be valid means what? Then f of n will automatically be small o of h of n. Now, can you please take one example in order to understand this? F of n is, let us assume f of n I have taken n square. Then what could be the value of g of n? G of n cannot be equal to n square, but it could be greater than n square. So let me take n cube. I have taken n cube because I am proving big O notation. Big O notation means this part has to be smaller and this part has to be greater. Now g of n I have already taken n cube. Now what could be the possible value of h of n? So h of n I can consider greater than n cube but not equal to n cube. So I can, let me take n raised to power 5. Anything which is greater than n cube, but I cannot take in form of n cube, n cube function. So I have taken these functions. So is it valid or not valid? Now if you see, this f of n is nothing but n square small o, h of n is what? N raised to power 5. So it is perfectly valid because small o notation is what? Less than. So this part is smaller and this part is greater. So it is perfectly valid. So this is property number 4 for transitive. Now let me talk about the last property of, which is small omega. F of n is w of g of n and g of n is w of h of n. So what is the meaning of this function? Then it is saying, then automatically f of n is going to be what? Small o of, not small o, it should be omega of h of n. Okay, now if you see, let us assume f of n is what? I have considered n raised to power 4. I have taken. Now what could be the possible value of g of n? Means f of, means if you are satisfying this condition, means what? This part should be greater and this part should be smaller. Means what? If you have already assumed f of n is n raised to power 4, then what you can assume for g of n? G of n can be smaller than n raised to power 4. So let me take n square. I have taken n square. Now if you have taken g of n is n square, then what could be the possible value of h of n? H of n could be what? It could be less than n square. So let me take n, or you could take log n, whatever it may be, but less than n square. So now what is the value of f of n? F of n is what? N raised to power 4, and if you say w of h of n is what? N. So now it is perfectly valid because this part is greater, and in omega you have to prove omega means what? Greater. So this part is greater, so you can write down this property also. This is perfectly valid. So if f of n is big O of small o of g of n and g of n is small o of h of n, then it will automatically f of n will equal to small o of h of n, and similarly last property. Okay, now if you see next property, that is very important property because it will help you to solve the questions. Next property is fourth. Let me talk about the fourth property for asymptotic notations. So fourth property is basically f of n equal to big O of g of n and d of n equal to big O of h of n. So something like this. Okay, so what, according to this condition, what I can assume for f of n? I can assume anything. Let's suppose I have assumed n raised to power 5. Then what I can assume for g of n? So it is big O notations. Big O notation means I can assume equal to and anything which is greater than f of n. So let me assume g of n is n raised to power 7 something. Okay, now d of n. So let me assume d of n. I can assume n cube, something like. So now what could be the possible value of h of n? Because this is big O notation, this part should be smaller and this part should be greater. So if I assumed d of n is n cube, then this part has to be what? It could be either n cube or greater than n cube. So let me take h of n. You can take n cube also, or you can take n raised to power 4, anything. Okay, so this property says actually means in a part or first part, you can, if you are adding these two, f of n plus d of n, then it is saying answer will be order of big O of maximum of g of n comma h of n. So means what? F of n is what? F of n is what? N raised to power 5 plus d of n is what? D of n is nothing but n cube. Now big O of maximum of g of n is what? G of n is nothing but n raised to power 7. So n raised to power 7 and h of n is what? N cube. So in this, which one is maximum? So n raised to power 7 is maximum. So it is going to be n raised to power 7 from this. Now this is n raised to power 5 plus n raised to power 3. If you see which part is greater, so obviously we are proving what? Big O notation. So this part should be smaller and this part should be greater. So definitely in terms of value, in terms of power, this part is already smaller and this part is greater. So this is the property number 4 and first part. Now if you talk about second part, so what is the second part? Let me discuss. Now what it says if you are multiplying f of n into d of n, so let me multiply f of n into d of n, then it says, then or big O of answer will be g of n into h of n. So what is the meaning? F of n is what? F of n is nothing but n raised to power 5. Now d of n is what? D of n is what? N cube. So big O of g of n is what? G of n is n raised to power 7. Now h of n is what? H of n is what? N cube. Now n cube. So this is going to be what? N raised to power 5, 3, 8 equal to order of so it is going to be ultimately n raised to power 10. So now in this big O, according to big O notation, this part should be smaller, this part should be greater. So it is perfectly valid. So means what it is saying, so if function is given to you, f of n equal to big O of g of n and d of n equal to h of n, if you are multiplying the left hand side, then you are supposed to multiply the right hand side also in order to make this condition true. Okay, so this is all about your fourth property. Now let us discuss the last property. What last property is what? You can say augmentation property or augmented property. So that is related to augmentation. If f of n is, let's say f of n is big O of g of n, then means f of n is big O of g of n means what? Let me assume some function f of n is, let's say, n square, then g of n can be what? Either it could be n square or greater than this. So let me take this time n square. You can take n cube also. You can take n raised to power 4. You can take anything which is greater than this. So in order to satisfy this. So what it says, if you are multiplying by something in f of n, let me write f of n into, if you are multiplying by a function h of n, then you need to multiply g of n with h of n also. Both the side means you are multiplying here also, so you can multiply here also. So both the side you have to multiply h of n and h of n. So this is the mathematical calculation only. So this is what the last property. So if you see according to this, so let us take f of n is what? N square, g of n is what? N square, so it will become n raised to power 4, and g of n is what? I think I made a mistake. Okay, yes. Let me take h of n something. H of n is nothing but, let me take n raised to power 4 or n raised to power 7, let's say. So f of n is what? N is square. H of n is what? N raised to power 7. Big O of g of n is what? N square. Then h of n is what? N raised to power 7. So now it is what? This part is smaller, this part is bigger. Means you have to prove this. But both are same. But Big O says you can take smaller or greater also. So according to this Big O notation, it is also true. So this is all about your properties of asymptotic notations. Okay, in the next lecture we'll see some of the we'll solve some of the questions. Okay, so thank you so much.